Here's how I created the cover art for James Rone's album, Light of the Lodges. Here's James Rone. He's a super talented musician. We've collaborated before. He's really fun. Here's me. Hi! James wanted the album cover to be really busy, so you saw something new every time you looked at it. And based on the album title, Light of the Lodges, I decided to create a tabletop diorama of a forest scene with various animals throwing a party, and James in disguise right along with them. So kind of like a storybook that we would read as a kid, but with more sinister elements inside. But I cannot draw to save my life, so I turned to AI using Adobe Firefly. AI can be really tricky when you're trying to create a cohesive collection because you can get really inconsistent results like this. And these guys, I don't know what is happening. Oh, I do really like that guy though. Anyway, thankfully Adobe Firefly lets you upload a reference image, so once I made a creature that I liked, I was able to throw it in and make a collection of characters that looked consistent. Even still, this was a painstaking process because they weren't always fully in frame, or the item they were holding was a little weird, or the art still looked too different stylistically from the rest of the collection. And overall, I made thousands of variations of different AI elements, and 34 made it into the final piece. It was super fun, but oh my god, it really took forever. So, okay, on to the build. So I started with some foam blocks that I rescued from the trash, and I covered them with AstroTurf and this cool moss from the craft store, and some real bark that I found outside. And once I had that layout, I was able to start printing my fun little characters. And then for 1,000 years, I cut them out, and I cut them out, and I cut them out, and I think this was half of my life, and my fingers were bleeding by the end of it, but now they're ready to go inside. Then I taped pins to the back of everything so I could shove it straight into the foam and move them around as much as I needed to. And once I got everything placed, I had a really good idea of how it was all going to look overall, and I could start focusing on making some of the smaller details. Like this tiny food that I molded out of clay and hand painted for the picnic scenes. And then I made this tiny clay TV and created the snowy scene for the screen, also using Adobe Firefly. And I made this cute cabin on grassy hills to give some dimension to the back of the scene, along with this rocket ship that's eventually going to destroy us all. And then finally, it was time to take some pictures of James. So I went to James's house, and he very kindly put on this bear costume because I wanted to show him in disguise amongst the rest of the animals in this party, just hanging out and having a good time. He was a very good sport. So I took pictures of him and his cat Yuli, brought him home, put him into Photoshop. My iPad is disgusting, don't worry about that. I printed them out, and then after even more cutting, was able to start putting them into the scene. Oh my god, it's all coming to life. How cool is this? So much fun. And then I worked on some more details, like building the grave using coffee grounds and actual bones. The road in the back is made from flaxseed crackers from Trader Joe's. I wired a tiny light to a battery so the campfire would actually glow, and the firewood is made from cinnamon sticks. I crafted a bunch of tiny books, and because we wanted some darker elements, the beaver is reading porn. I added fake ants to mess up the picnic scene, and these monkeys are getting high off of these mushrooms that I hand painted. There's also an eagle carrying a penguin through the sky. And this bear is robbing this other bear's honey, which I made from hot glue to look like it was actually dripping. These guys are being poisoned. These poor frogs are being boiled alive. They don't know that yet. Oh, this guy's probably going to fall and get hurt pretty bad. And I made these cool little suitcases that I filled with tiny albums that have the same album cover, which is a detail that I'm very proud of. And there it is. That's the whole piece. So I hope you like it. Go listen to Light Up the Lodges. It's so good. James did an incredible job, and thanks so much for watching.